pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, I'd like to read an opening statement tonight. Due to the current federal and state emergency declarations, a Minnesota directive to residents to stay at home, and guidance about limiting person-to-person contact due to the COVID-19 pandemic, this meeting of the Albert Lea Area School Board is being conducted in accordance with Minnesota Statutes 13D.021, meetings by telephone or other electronic means. Due to the health pandemic, the school board determined that it is not feasible for at least one board member, the superintendent, or the school district's legal counsel to be physically present at the regular meeting location, and that it is not feasible for the public to attend this meeting at the regular meeting location due to the pandemic. Persons may monitor this meeting from a remote location watching on the Albert Lea Area Schools YouTube channel. School board members are reminded to mute their microphone or phone when they are not speaking. School board members wishing to speak should raise their hand, then wait to be recognized by the chair. The chair will determine the order in which the board members wish to speak will be recognized. When recognized, the board member should unmute their microphone or phone, speak, and then mute their device. All votes will be conducted by roll call. Each school board member shall wait until their name is called before voting. Okay, open forum tonight, which shouldn't be anyone. No one's here, so we'll move on to celebrating our successes, Dr. Funk.
So tonight we have the ending of two terms that are coming to an end for us tonight. And Angie, thank you for your service the last 4 years. You have probably asked me more questions than any board member during that 4-year period of time, and I have always appreciated your teacher insight that you brought to the school board, and you will clearly be missed by us here in the boardroom. And so, thank you for your service. And as a result of that, we have I don't know if you can see it, but I'll walk over to Ashley here. So we have a bell for you that has an engraving on it. Of course, I don't have my glasses on, so I can't read it to you, but your name is engraved on there and your years of service as school board member. So thank you,
Dr. Funk.
Thank you, and so we'll either send it to you or you can come in and pick it up with Ashley, okay?
All right, I'll come in and pick it up sometime.
Okay.
Thank you.
You bet. And then Ken, you can add this to your wall, I'm sure, of plaques that you have. Probably have something else similar to this from the school district. And again, this is 4 years this time around, and I think, would you have 12 prior to that, or 10 prior to that? So 14 years of service, and I think the vast majority of those years of service were the school board chair, if I'm correct. So we'll give you this plaque, and then we will also get your name on the wall over there again for your service as school board chair. I think it's on there already, so there you go.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ken.
Ken, would you like to say something? You raised your hand.
Yeah. I just want to thank everyone for all that they do, especially our staff. It's always a lot of things going on, and especially this year, it's created a lot of challenges, and so I want to thank all our staff for the great job that they've done in that, and I want to thank my fellow board members for all that they do and our times together, whether we agree or disagree. It's always been good, in my opinion. So thank you to all of you, and so it's been fun.
Thank you both, Angie and Ken. Again, as Dr. Funkson been very helpful with not only the questioning but all the background things that everyone's done. And Angie, I just have to say, I remember before you ran when you and Clayton were here in our meetings, and I always appreciated you coming in as a member of our community and asking the questions, because there's always a lot of decisions to be made. And Ken, yeah, 14 years, you know, and was that 12 years as chairman? Had a lot of extra time, and thank you. A lot of great things have happened to the school because of both of you, so thank you both. Okay, approval of today's agenda. I'm looking for a motion for that.
Move to approve,
Okay,
Zangie.
and we got a second? Ken and Angie, any discussion? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Pose the same sign? Okay, thank you. Number 7 is our consent items, and I'd be looking for a motion to approve all the consent items.
I'll move to approve consent items. This is Kim.
Kim made the motion to approve.
Second.
Dennis seconds. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Oppose the same. Okay, number 8. We've got school board member reports. So I will start with Angie.
I don't have much to report. I missed our last co-op meeting, unfortunately. I just want to say it's been an absolute pleasure being on the school board. I've enjoyed working with all of you. I've learned so much from all of you, and it's just it's been such an honor. And thank you to all of the staff and the students of District 241 for making it such a great school district. And even this year when everything is, and last year, ever since COVID, when everything has been so difficult, everyone has just risen to the challenge. And that includes administration for all that you have done to make sure that everything has run as well as it could and as safe as it could during these times of COVID. Thank you all.
Thanks, Angie. Dennis?
I did have the community education meeting. I'm going to defer that to Kim because Kim has been doing a lot of the work with the Education Foundation, and I think she has it all together there. Other than that, it's been pretty quiet on getting to be able to go to any meetings.
Thank you. Kim?
And
Oh, go ahead, Dennis. Sorry. Go ahead.
Angie and Kenny, both of you guys, I appreciate all that you have done. I know I always come with a boatload of questions and trying to learn, and both of you have always been receptive and listening and answering questions when I had them. So good luck in everything you guys do. You will be missed.
Kim?
Yeah, so I have I'll just kind of try to keep this brief, but I have some updates for you on the Albert Lee Greater Education Project. The first, I would say coalition or group that's working together, the Business Ed Committee with the Chamber, along with the Education Foundation, and John with the school district. On December 3rd, we had our first meeting. And John provided a good overview of the programs within the school that have been happening, and we shared some ideas and discussed about, you know, what who else maybe should be at the table. And we will meet again in February. The idea is that we will meet eventually on a quarterly basis. We're going to do bi-monthly at this point until we can kind of get our legs moving in the right direction here on this this new endeavor, or an endeavor that's being kind of redesigned and pivoting a little bit. So we're excited about that. On December 3rd, also I attended the toy committee meeting, and some dates to just put on your calendars. The T is, we're planning, depending on what happens, we're planning February 24th to be in person at the high school commons, but not having a buffet, having more of a grab-and-go dessert option, and so they're looking into that. And then the reception, we're looking at April 7th for the program, and that's going to potentially look the same as it did last year, where we might have something outdoors, but we're just in the planning stages of that. But something to remember is if there's a teacher
that you want to nominate for Teacher of the Year. Nomination forms are going to be rolling out in January, and so the kickoff, I think, is that first week of January, January 4th, so that week. So that's the toy committee. And then the business ed committee meeting was December 4th. And we just really, a lot of that meeting was really around the goals and what the involvement of the business ed committee is going to be with the Albert Lee Greater Education Project. A lot of collaborative planning, and then, what projects we want to be involved in. Then lastly, on December 9th was the Education Foundation meeting I attended. We're really excited about what we're developing there. We're working on developing donor strategies, looking at events and annual giving opportunities, major gifts, and then planned giving, just to be real poignant about the fact that we are a foundation and we should be raising funds. And then that, obviously will help the school district because they're a great partner with us. And needs and priorities basically around education. And then today, I had the opportunity to be part of the food distribution at the high school, and it was a great time, and just made me feel really good to be part of a district that makes families so important. And you could just see in a lot of the families we got to encounter with the difference we're making. So that was all really neat for me. Any questions from anybody on those meetings? Be happy to entertain those.
Okay, thank you, Kim. Jill?
I attended the Freeborn County Family Services Collaborative and the Alcohol, Tobacco, and Other Drugs meeting. Much of the conversation surrounded engagement of students right now and the escalating amounts of truancy that are happening in the entire county, all of the schools in the county. And so we were talking about getting the parent educator on board and what that might look like, and how we can reach these kids and parents as well so that they can be engaged and not lose out on too much more of their education. Thank you.
Thank you. Neil?
Not much. It's really wonderful following Kim because she pretty well covers everything that I would also cover, especially in connection with the Education Foundation. And we did have, I thought, a very good, productive meeting on the 9th. And we're coming up with some pretty good plans, I think, for the future. I would like to join in everybody else in congratulating Angie and Ken. It's been my pleasure to be able to work with these two in various contexts over the years, and it's always been wonderful. And I'm excited for both of you. So congratulations and thank you very much.
Thanks. Kenny? No report. All right. And I just have the report that I did work with Neil and Kim today in the food distribution, which was a lot of fun out at the high school, and a lot of people had the opportunity to come through, and it's always fun to be able to help people out in this community and see our teachers, administration, and volunteers to be out there helping out. So thank you to all of them. Okay, school board reports. I don't see Aaron. Is Aaron? Is he there? Okay. Oh, okay. Aaron.
Hey, Aaron, you got anything to report?
Hi. Well, thank you. I just want to join everybody as well in saying thank you to Angie and Ken for their years of service on the school board, and a special shout out to Ken for his decade of leadership as school board chair. Just thank you guys and good luck in whatever you guys do in the future. Thanks.
Is Esther on? Okay. All right, let's move on to the teacher reports. Taylor, would you just kind of tell us a little bit about where you're teaching at and give us your report for the month? Thank you for showing up today.
Hi, so I'm Taylor Moyna. I'm an EL teacher at Halverson. to say that overall we've been very successful with our distance learning. Things are going well. And I'd really like to recognize the work of the success coaches during this time. They've been amazing getting everything translated in a timely manner and communicating effectively with families. So it's been going very well, and again, those success coaches have put in a lot of extra hours, and we really do appreciate everything they do for us and for our families in the district.
Okay, thank you. Okay, and all right, that's number 8. Number 9, moving on now to curriculum and instruction. Mary Jo, 2021-2022 school calendar, and this is an action item.
All right, so before you is the 21-22 school calendar, and very similar to this year as far as the dates, etc. Hopefully it's a COVID-free calendar for next year. And so we'll just go through it. Ask questions along the way, feel free. So again, very similar to prior year calendars, but the circle days starting on August 9th, those are the new teacher induction days. So new teachers are working with their mentors, instructional coaches, admin, etc. And then school officially kicks off for all staff on August 12th. And then the triangles throughout the calendar are conference days. And then the 18th, that square in the middle is for 6th and 8th grade orientation, and a work day for the rest of staff. Then for students, school would start on August 19th, be a 2-day week, and then in school the following week, all week long. And then the following 2 weeks are 4-day weeks due to Friday before Labor Day being a no school day, and September 6th being Labor Day. And then you can see the triangles on September 20th and the 30th, and those are evening conferences for the high school in Southwest. And then we head into October. And October Southwest conferences on August 4th. Fall break, again across the state, is October 21st and 22nd. And October 20th is the last day, of quarter 1. So then teachers come back October 25th. Actually, I'm not more than just teaching staff, all staff. 25th, PD, etc. And then October 26th is the start of the new quarter, quarter 2. And then elementary conferences start on October 28th. And then Monday, November 1st, is a 12-hour conference day, all-day conferences for elementary families and students. And that's pre-K 5. So no school for pre-K to 5 on November 1st, but secondary is in session that day. And that is just similar to this year as well. Then we go down to November 22nd, high school conferences, Thanksgiving, the 25th, and the Friday of Thanksgiving are no school days, and that is the end of November. Any questions at this point?
Kim?
Yeah, Mary Jo, I just had a question. That Monday the 1st, have you had any kind of feedback from teachers on that long day starting out the week, and maybe some conversations that happened around that, just because it's a long day starting the week and it's a full week?
There was some conversation. It did go to learning teams. So the calendar, just as a review, the calendar gets sent to all bargaining units. Then the bargaining units meet. We go over the calendar. They give their feedback. And then the learning team also has it to just look from the professional development angle. And it was brought up that that's 12 hours, but then it got brought up at secondary as well. That's the same for, you may be teaching at Southwest or the high school all day, but you also have conferences till 7:30. So the discussion was, it's 12 hours for everybody.
Thank you.
Yep. Any other questions? Okay. Then December is no conferences, no PD during the month of December, with school being December 22nd is the last day, and then starting winter break. That is also the end of the first semester. So then, much like this year, we would start January of 2022, the third being a no school day, and then the fourth and fifth being professional development for the district, with school starting on January 6th. January 17th is Martin Luther King Day, so that's a holiday. And then we head to February. You can see lots of conferences in the month of February with all the schools, secondary and elementary and pre-K. February 21st is a professional development day in the district. And then the 28th is an all-day conference day for elementary. So that's the stripes that there's no school for elementary, but there is for secondary. March, spring break, the week of the 14th. Heading to April. Sorry, it's so small, I can't remember if that was high school or Southwest. High school and ALC. And then the 15th is a holiday, so no school. Heading to the last month, May 20th is graduation, and the last day for students is May 24th, with the last district day for staff as May 25th.
Okay, any questions on the proposed calendar? Okay, seeing none, I would look for a motion to approve the calendar as presented. So moved by Neil. And a second? Second. Ken seconds. Any discussion? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor of approving the 2021-2022 school calendar as presented, signify by saying aye. 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 Oppose the same sign.
Aye.
Aye.
We're supposed to do a roll call on these anyway, aren't we? Let's go back. My bad, we should be doing a roll call. So let's just start. Angie, approval or not?
Nay.
Nay.
No approval.
Okay. Dennis?
I'm gonna abstain. This is the first time I've seen it, so I don't feel comfortable. I'm not saying it's bad, but I just don't feel it's right for me to make a decision without having talked to anybody.
Okay, Kim?
Yeah, I vote for it.
Jill?
No.
Neil?
Yes.
Ken? Yes. And I vote yes also. 5-2 then, that calendar. 4-2-1, sorry, yep, 4-2-1. Sorry, Dennis. Okay, effective and efficient operations, presentation and approval of 2019-2020 school district audit report. Jennifer Walsh and Michelle Flugum.
So I'll start out real quick. Michelle, our auditor, is going to be going through the executive summary. We ended the year on a strong note. We had projected our fund balance, our unassigned fund balance, to be 12.4%. and the actual ended up being 12.76. So that's good. I want to formally thank Bria Hamburg, our business services coordinator here in my office. She did an enormous amount of work on the audit preparation and deserves a lot of credit for getting what is really a tremendous amount of work done on this. So thank you, Bria, for that. Michelle's going to go through the executive summary, but certainly if you have any questions, just let us know.
First of all, I'd like to thank Jen and Bria for all the work they did. It's a pleasure to work with them. The other thing is, I tend to go fast, so you'll have to probably want to save your question, or somebody wants to interrupt, that's fine. So I'm going to start on page 1 of the executive summary. We issued a clean opinion, so it was a good report. Unfortunately, there were 2 findings in internal control. One of them was right the audit report. That's new this year because of a change in GASB standards, and most schools are going to have that now because it's not cost effective for the districts to hire somebody to write the report after we've done the audit. And the other one is your student activity accounts need statement of purpose forms, and this also is probably kind of new because now the student activities have been brought into the general fund. So to continue, there were no yellow book compliance findings on the single audit. We had as major the special education cluster and English language acquisition state grant. There were no internal control findings over the single audit or legal compliance findings. So page 2 is the internal control letter, and I already went over those findings. Page 4 is letter for those charged with governance. The only thing I'd like to say this again, we had a new GASB standard fiduciary activities where we brought in the student activities and the scholarship fund into the general fund. Also, we did a change for interest costs. Instead of capitalizing interest, we expense. Okay, on page 7, we see that the total general fund balance was $7,382,000 at the end of the year, and the beginning of the year it was $6,643,000 as restated. The period restatement is because of student activities. On page 8, the unassigned fund balance was $6,000,001, up a little bit from the prior year. Operating capital fund balance was $60,000, up $39,000 from the prior year. Page 9, service fund balance ended strong, $284,456, mainly because of the stays. Community service was $351. It was up about $10,000 due to transfers that we could do this year. Debt service fund was down to 1.3. There was some spend down, which was good. So you're at the end of the year, your ADMs for the year were 3,559, down just a tad. Page 11, your state aid shows that it was 82% of all revenue in the general fund. So your ADMs for your district support service expenses was 1,167, up a little bit. Your ADMs regular instruction were 5,781, up just a tad. ADMs for vocational instruction are 217, that stayed the same. Special education was 3,694. Instructional support 738, down a little bit. Site buildings and capital expenditures was 1,460. Pupil support services was at 463. Transportation 689, and that was due to you were required to honor their contract, and there were fewer students to spread the costs over. Food service ADM was 491, and debt service was at 1,182. Any questions?
Any questions from Michelle on the information she presented?
We did, Brittany is either today or tomorrow posting the entire audit on our district website. It is public information. And I do have some copies here if anybody wants to stop by and get one at some point.
Any questions then for Michelle or Jennifer? Okay. I would look then for approval of the 2019-2020 School District Audit Report.
So moved.
So moved, Dennis. Second?
I'll second, it's Angie.
Okay, thank you, Angie. Any other discussion? Seeing none, let's start with Kim,
Aye.
Dennis,
Aye.
Angie,
Aye.
Jill,
Aye.
Kenny,
Aye.
Neil,
Aye.
and I for myself. 7-0. Thank you. 10.2, approval of providing notification to the MIST of Albert Lee's intent to withdraw from the insurance cooperative. Jennifer.
So we had a pretty high rate increase for this current year. And we are required to give them notice by December 31st if we intend to go out for an RFP. So this is a requirement through the Minnesota Insurance Scholastic Trust. Our plan is to use A.J. Gallagher, who is our current broker, to run the RFP for us, and so then he will be looking at all potential carriers that insure school districts and see if there is a better option out there for us.
Any questions on that for Jennifer? Dennis.
How long have we been with this company now?
So, I believe since 2014. It's either 2013 or 2014. So it's a cooperative. Now, I will tell you, every district I know of had an increase this year. I think insurance companies were very nervous about COVID and, potential liabilities that school districts might have or might incur. I don't know of a district that didn't have some increase. Ours did seem on the high side from what I saw of other districts, even though within the cooperative, we did get the highest potential, I guess you'd call it, recognition of our claims. And we will lose, if we leave MIST, if we go out for the RFP, but we come back, we end up coming back to MIST. If that turns out to be the best deal, we will lose that claims experience reduction that we get, but we would continue any of our contributions that we may be able to get back at some point in time, because it's a cooperative, we would still have access to those if we end up coming back to MIST.
Is the district planning on looking into PEEP?
This is for
property.
This is for property insurance.
Oh, I was thinking we're talking about health insurance.
No,
Oh my gosh, I
this
was
is property
totally
and
on it.
casualty. Yeah, property and casualty insurance. No, if you remember, for health insurance, we went self-insured this year.
Okay, oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's
Oh.
Okay, thank you.
Jennifer, how about Mesbate? We're going to talk to them?
Who?
Minnesota School Board Insurance Trust?
They'll look at all.
Okay.
Everybody who insures school districts, they have access to.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, Kenny.
I think it's good that we at least do a proposal and see what's out there. and that's just due diligence on the way we should handle things, and so I would make the motion to approve this memo.
Okay. Any seconds to that motion?
I'll second it. Kim.
Okay. Kim, second. Any other discussion? All right, seeing none. Neil?
Aye.
Kenny?
Aye?
Kim?
Aye.
Jill?
Aye.
Angie?
Aye.
Dennis?
Aye.
And I for myself. So 7-0. Thank you, Jennifer.
Thank you.
10.3, the resolution amending the prior tax abatement resolution is an action item. Jennifer?
I'm sorry, I muted myself. This is simply a resolution for an abatement that has been approved in the past, but it has changed ownership, this piece of property. So that's really all this is recognizing the change in ownership.
I move approval.
Dennis moves to approve. Is there a second?
Second, Angie.
Angie, and a second. Any discussion? Okay, seeing none. Roll call vote. Kenny?
Aye?
Neil? Aye. Jill?
Aye.
Kim?
Aye.
Dennis?
Aye.
Angie?
Aye.
And I for myself. Thank you. 7-0. Okay, 10.4 is a resolution establishing combined polling places for certain multiple precincts and designating hours during which the polling places will remain open for voting for school district elections not held on the day of a statewide election for 2021. It's an action item. Dr. Funk.
This is very similar to the polling places that we established for our bond referendum in May of 2018. The significant differences are we will no longer will be using Brookside, we'll be using the pavilion, and help me out, Ashley, we won't be using Halverson, we'll be using a church out in that neighborhood. So again, we will have a number of polling places as the board wished the last time we did our own special election. This will be consistent with that when we move forward in November for the operating referendum.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve the resolution to establish the combined polling places?
So moved.
Neil moves. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Kim seconds. Any discussion on the combined polling places for 2021?
This is Angie. Just double checking. So, is this exactly what we had in the 2020 November election, or is this like a little bit fewer polling places?
Ashley's coming over here to help. Oh yeah, in this past election, the townships did not vote in person. They were all mail-in. And so this election, we are designating places at the townships to vote. So it's like 2018, not like this last November.
Okay, thank you very much. Just making sure that
Yep.
it's easy for everyone. I like that. Thank you.
You bet.
Any other questions? Okay, seeing none, we'll roll call vote. Angie?
Aye.
Dennis?
Aye.
Jill?
Aye.
Kim?
Aye.
Kenny?
Aye?
Neil? And I for myself. Okay, thank you. 10.5, the Executive Director Association's 2020 through 2023 Master Agreement. Again, an action item. Dr. Funk.
I'm recommending approval of these 3-year contracts for the 4 individuals on the agenda here. All will receive 2% increases for this school year, and their salaries for the next 2 years will be determined. This is consistent with other agreements in the district. Couple things about these contracts. We've implemented language into all of them that eliminates severance for any individual hired into their unit after July 1 of 2020. And we've adjusted the Executive Director of Special Services monthly cell phone stipend to match the others, two of the other directors. And then we also have added language that states the district will pay the annual Board of School Administrators fee annually if that's a requirement of their position.
Okay, I would look for a motion to approve the Executive Directors Association's 2020 through 2023 Master Agreement.
Do you want the motion for each one individually, or do you want to go all four at once? It's up to you guys.
I think we can do all four.
Okay.
I'll move to approve the executive director for contracts for 20 to 2023 master agreements.
Is there a second? Oh. There's a motion, a second by Neil. Any discussion? Okay, seeing none, then we will do a roll call vote. We'll start with Neil. Aye. Kenny?
Aye.
Jill?
Aye.
Kim?
Aye.
Angie?
Aye.
Dennis?
Aye.
And I for myself. Okay, moving on to 10.6 is a learning model update. Dr. Funk, it's also an action item.
It won't be, it doesn't have to be an action item. You can if you want, but I had some clarification from MDE today, so
okay.
we should be okay. All right, so go ahead, next slide. So as I reported to the board a few weeks ago, a couple months ago, we look at really three factors when we're looking at making decision on the learning model. We look at our internal district numbers. Currently, we have 2 cases in the district. We look at the county positivity rate. We're currently at 5.8% of the people who test positive. And we look at what our 2-week average is. Go to the next slide, Ashley. It's kind of a busy slide, but this is a picture of something that I took off of a university website. So this is data as of yesterday, December 20th. And what this is doing is it's a predictor of where we will be in about a week and a half's time. And so the number that's really important for us is, it's in the purple box down there at the bottom. Forecast for December 27th, 2020. They are forecasting us on 2 days after, a week from today, basically, or a week from Sunday, to be at 49.5. which is below the 50 number for MDE. And as you can see, the dots there, the numbers are dropping significantly. So with that information, we are going to be recommending that we come back to school here in early January. Go ahead, Ashley. Couple things that, as a result of some new guidance from MDE, that I want to clarify before we get into the recommendation. One of the things that they are now going to be requiring all staff members who interact with students, teachers, paras, cooks, bus drivers, they will all have to wear face masks and shields. We will also be testing. We will also have testing available for staff every 2 weeks. In each of our buildings, and we just had a seminar on that today. The other thing, and I had a conversation this morning with the deputy commissioner to get some clarification on this. So they were telling districts, some districts in the state of Minnesota have not been in person yet at all. Minneapolis, St. Paul, a couple of them. So they were stating that if you hadn't communicated to your constituents in your district that you were going to be making a decision to change learning, then they were going to make school districts come back in a rolling start. However, if you had communicated to districts, to people in your district before December 16th, when this information came out, that a decision was going to be forthcoming at some point in the near future, then you could make a recommendation based upon what you thought, and you didn't have to do the rolling start. So a rolling start basically means this. You can have 3 grade levels at a time start in your elementary. So if we were compelled to do a rolling start, we would be doing a K2 start, and then 2 weeks later, our 3 through 5th graders could come back. What's kind of interesting about this is if we were to do that, we would still be compelled to provide daycare. So I would be providing education to the K through 2 students in the building, and their older siblings in the same building would be coming back to receive daycare services because of this ruling that the Department of Health and Department of Education have come up with. However, with clarification today, because we have said that we are in distance learning through this semester and a decision will be forthcoming, we are not required to follow that guidance, and we can bring everybody back to a similar plan like we had previous to this. And that is really what our intent is going to be. Go ahead to the next slide. So based upon our internal district numbers, our positivity rate being in the 5% range, the declining county COVID count, the utilization of our thermal scanners, our active screening questions, I'm recommending that Friday, January 8th, we implement the same learning model we utilized at the start of the school year. Elementary in person 4 days a week with virtual Fridays, secondary hybrid. The first day will be a virtual day for students. Now this is an adjustment to the student original plan to bring them back on January 6th. One of the requirements of the new safe learning plan is we provide teachers 2 extra days to transition back to in-person. So we will be utilizing the 7th and 8th, or excuse me, the 6th and 7th as those transition days. And we will also be providing daycare 6th through 8th to those families that need it, of Tier 1 families. So that is our recommendation. Since MDE has said you can do this, I'm not gonna. We can do a action item, but you guys have already provided the administration the ability to move between learning models, so we don't necessarily need to.
Okay. But I will open it up for discussion. Ken.
Well, I think everyone knows this is something that I've wanted for some time. I know that as I follow what other states are doing and so on, even New York is going back. And the recommendation, I think, from the CDC is that, especially younger students have the opportunity to get back into schools. And so I think this is a great step.
Thank you. Yes, Neil.
Yeah, I'm with Ken. If we were a district that did not have any plan in place, any protocols, any procedures, having full-fledged school would be a very bad idea. But we do. And I've made this statement several times. I firmly believe that with all the protocols, procedures we have in place, school is probably the safest place these kids could be. When they're not in school, it's a free-for-all. They're all over the place. They're contacting people in a very unmitigating way, and it's full of wrought with danger, and they're suffering educationally, they're suffering from a psychological point of view. I think school is the best place they can be, and furthermore, as I have said oftentimes, we are in the business of education, and what better opportunity can we have to educate not only our children, but their parents, the community, along the lines of proper, responsible habits in the context of this current COVID pandemic. So, I congratulate what our management and staff have done to provide all those procedures and practices and protocols that have actually made this a very viable alternative to the other decisions that have been made in this era. So, yeah, I like it.
I just have a few questions. Or Dennis, you want to go first? You can. Go ahead, Dennis.
Yeah, go ahead, Angie. We'll switch you on.
Okay, so the students won't come back till the 8th, and the 8th will be a distance learning day, is that correct?
Yes, students' first day back on site will be the 11th.
Okay, and then, and that's for elementary and middle school and high school, everyone comes back.
Correct.
Distance the 8th, and then is middle school, high school still doing hybrid, or are they
Yes.
all coming back every day in person?
Hybrid.
Okay, all right, thank you. I agree that this is a good plan, and I just commend the efforts of the district, the administration, and everybody in making sure that schools are as safe as possible throughout this whole time.
Thank you, Angie. Dennis?
I think this is a good start. My worry is seeing some of the 6th and 7th graders in the high school. I think we're doing a disservice by not getting them back in. I'm just seeing it in some of the interactions I'm having with families, with the kids. There's some kids that have done really, really well, and all of a sudden this year they're falling off. I'm worried about the truancy at the high school and the middle school. So I like this, but is there any way we can do more to get all of the kids back in?
I think we're pushing it pretty hard to get to where we're at right now, Dennis.
I agree, but I'm thinking, do we have a plan in place where we can start looking to get 6 and 7, staging them back in, or do you feel that's beyond our capacity to do right now?
It's likely beyond our capacity, but we will see what the spring brings with immunizations, vaccinations, and the impact that have on the wider community. But I share your concern.
Thank you.
Can you, Kim?
Go ahead, Kim, yep.
Dr. Funk, can you just give us kind of a glimpse of like districts, what you've seen districts like our size or other districts that we would be comparable to, what they're facing or what their plan is?
I can tell you that Austin will likely be doing something similar to what we're doing as far as coming back. Northfield is at the other extreme of that. They will be doing a rolling start. They will not be back with full students. They will not be back in a hybrid at their high school until early February. They will not be back K-5 till early February. Owatonna will look similar to what's happening with Albert Lee as far as when we're coming back. Rochester is another example. Rochester has not been in person as yet at the secondary level this entire school year. They've been in distance learning, and they've been hybrid in their elementary, meaning a couple days a week with students in their elementary schools. So that is what some of the other area school districts are looking like.
Thank you for addressing that. I just get a lot of feedback from community members or parents that are concerned, and I want people to know that we are being very progressive and we're kind of setting the trend, and so I thought it was important that we ask that question. So thank you.
Any other questions? I'd like to commend us for the things that we've done too, as far as keeping our staff, teachers, and everyone safe. Students also with the screenings and everything going on. I'm sure there's others that are doing it. I don't think there's a lot of thermal scanners, but I do believe that does give a pretty good degree of safety to our teachers and other unions that we work with. So thank you. Any other discussion? No, we took it off as action tonight.
Yeah,
okay, yep.
As I understand, in lieu of action, that we are, in a sense, authorizing or enabling management to make a decision as to what our plan will be in the upcoming weeks
So a number of months ago, you passed a resolution allowing the administration to move between learning models. There was some concern from the initial announcement that came out from MDE whether or not we were going to be able to do this or not. And so that is why I suggested if we're gonna do something different, then I would suggest an action item. But we are consistent with the guidance that they have provided us. So I think you can either do the action item or you can make a motion to table it.
Okay. I'm sorry, what was that, Ken?
I make a motion that we go to this learning model.
Okay. So Ken has made a motion that we go to the learning model recommended by Dr. Funk. Is there a second to that motion? And Neil will second it. Now, Aaron, did I see you had your hand up?
Yeah, thanks. Sorry, I didn't realize I had my video turned off, but I just also wanted to say thank you to everyone involved with the implementation of this program. I think it's very obvious that being in person is the best place to be for students, and it's the best way to learn. So again, just thank you to everyone from every student that really wanted to go back to in person. So again, thank you.
Thank you, Aaron. Any other? Dennis?
I'm very supportive of this. We need to get the kids back. I just want it noted that I'm really concerned, middle school, high school, the more we can keep worrying, and I know administration is totally overburdened with it, but just seeing some of the struggles out there, the more we can move that direction, the better we'll be. But I'm thankful we are heading back into the model we had. So administration, thank you for everything you're doing.
Angie?
Yeah, I just had a question, recommendation as a parent. My son was doing distance and he's going back to do hybrid. Like did distance for a semester and he is an 8th grader. I was just wondering, since we have a few days of wiggle room, would there be a possibility, I don't know if there's a lot or a little, of any 6th graders or 8th graders who are coming back to get like a little tour of the school?
Sure.
Or something? I mean,
yeah, we'll do that.
organized thing?
Yep, we can definitely do that. And we will do it that week, probably that Thursday. We will definitely do that.
Okay, thank you. I think that'd be very helpful.
Yep, I agreed.
I haven't even been in the school.
Yep, I agree 100%.
Okay, thank you.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion made by Ken, seconded by Neil about in January returning to the recommended model by Dr. Funk, and we'll do this again, roll call. So I'll start with Ken.
Yes.
Neil.
Yes.
Dennis.
Aye.
Angie.
Aye.
Jill.
Aye.
Kim.
Aye.
And 7-0 aye for myself. Thank you, Dr. Funk. Okay, number 10.7 is the MSHSL fee. It's an action item. So I would look for a motion on what the board wishes to do with the remaining fees the Minnesota State High School League is asking for. If I believe the next installment was due the end of this month, and then the end of February for the third and final installment.
Dave, I would move that we do not pay the fees that have been presented on the most current invoice from Minnesota State High School League.
Okay, is there a second to Kim's motion?
I'll second.
Ken will second that. Okay. Discussion then on the Minnesota State High School League fees.
Has anything changed since the
Have we
last time we discussed it?
Have we heard anything?
I believe you received a couple months ago the communication from Director Martins. That's the only thing we've received.
So nothing new. They've made no action on our requests. Okay.
I know they did meet with a number of school districts late last week, I believe, who were very upset. Like 19 of them, I think, or some conference that they reached out and they had a meeting, but that's all I'm aware of.
Okay. The immediate risk then to not paying this, I guess we feel like we've made our first payment, which was the dues to be part of the Minnesota High School League. These are additional fees, correct?
Yeah, we have met the contractual requirement as stated within their operating constitution. So there's nothing in their constitution that allows them to charge additional fees and then exclude districts from the conference or from the high school league for not paying those additional fees.
Any other thoughts? Any, as far as scheduling goes, I know I talked with Mr. Durbin earlier about some things there, about potentially schools maybe not being comfortable, maybe it's not comfortable playing us, but that might be penalized for playing our teams. Any thoughts on that, anybody? I mean, I can see that both ways, but again, if we're in good standing, I don't know where they could pull us out. So, okay.
The only thing I wanted to add was that based on the inquiries and the FAQ that was supposed to come out on very direct questions back in November or October that were asked, I haven't seen any FAQ, and based on my inquiries to the league, I haven't received any kind of correspondence. So I think that's why I believe that the motion that's why I made the motion, and I think that's why I'm in support of this motion, because I feel like we have paid the membership dues, and the fees are in addition to that, and I feel like at this time we just have not been given good feedback from them or response from them.
Okay. Go ahead.
I can call the executive director and tell him, based on whatever the board decides tonight, inform him of your decision and give him a heads up that this is, and I can talk him through why they can't exclude us, if that's what they still want to do. If that's what you guys want me to do, or you just want to just make a statement. I mean, I'm able to do whatever you want me to do.
If my understanding, I guess if we'd have you give them a call without a statement, then we'd end up having to have a meeting before the end of the year to either say yes or no, right?
Yeah, Dave.
Yeah, Neil.
I'm not an authority on this, but my gut feeling is that might not be a great idea, because the ball is currently in their court. If we make some statement informing them that we have no intentions of paying additional fees, that might put them in a position where they would feel forced to make a reaction, whereas if we just flat out don't pay it, the whole thing may just silently drift away. And I don't like the idea of creating a scene if we don't have to. But that's just my opinion.
Yep, Ken?
I think our statement will be made when they're not paid. They're going to come to the end of the year here, and we paid our initial fee. We feel we met our obligation. They have not answered our questions, and so our statement will be made by not paying the dollars.
Okay. Jill?
I would like just to have the non-payment serve as the statement.
Okay. So then I will go ahead and call the question on it, and we'll start with, the motion was made not to make any other payments to the Minnesota State High School League at this time. Angie?
Aye.
Dennis?
Aye.
Jill?
Aye.
Kim?
Aye.
Kenny? Neil? And that's a 7-0 aye. Thank you. Okay, just a couple things at the end of the meeting. I won't take very long. I just wanted to make mention to, I'm sure we've all gotten our Minnesota School Board Association Leadership Conference information. I think probably our 2 new members have been involved already with some different things. Kenny and Angie probably don't want to spend too much time on this, but I guess I just wanted to bring it to the board's attention because one of the things that I've always valued the most about the conference is not only the meetings that we have at the conference, but the discussions after the meetings. And so as I was looking at the conference at a glance, and this is just a suggestion for myself, and we can decide as we get closer, this is a January conference, was about the opportunity of having one or more of the sessions. And I guess if we're in a Zoom, but we will be starting school by the 21st, if we had one or more of the sessions in the boardroom and had just a kind of a working lunch afterwards to, again, give us all an opportunity maybe to voice what we've seen, what we've heard. Not an action item, but I just wanted to leave a little bit out there for discussion. Does anyone have any thoughts or feelings about that? Again, I understand the COVID situation. Again, just I value the time that we've been able to spend at these conferences. Any thoughts? Yeah, Neil.
I think it's a good idea. We obviously need to wait and see what the climate is come conference time, but you're right. One of the best benefits that we derive from the experience of this conference is the interaction among ourselves, and I will miss that if we don't have an opportunity to experience that. So yeah, I think that's a great idea.
Any other thoughts? Again, just discussion. Just wanted to put it on the table for you to think about as we go forward into it too. I mean, we can obviously make the room a little bit bigger if we need to and things like that too. So
I think it's a great idea, Dave.
thank you. Anything? Okay. Without any other discussion, we would be at number 11. We don't have anything for safe and healthy schools. I want to mention our organizational meeting on Monday, January 4th. We might as well do Zoom again. We won't be in session. So I'm sure they'll send out a Zoom meeting attachment for that. Other than that, again, I want to say thanks again to Kenny and Angie for your years. Appreciate it. As we go forward, I mean, Ken, you've been on the board before, but you always, when there's turnover, it's always a difference. It's great to have new opinions, but there's a lot of history that goes with that too. So thank you, the two of you. Stay active in our school district. And thank you also for giving me an opportunity to lead as board chair. That's been very informative this year. A good thing for all to learn. Again, other than that, then our January 4th will be a Zoom meeting at 5 p.m. And with that, there's a lot of things I've been wanting to say goodbye to for 2020. It's not always the board meeting, but I hope we can get better in 2020 and what we're able to do for our kids. And I think we've got a great start for it going with our new learning model. Tonight's meeting is adjourned. Have a very happy holiday.